Dominic by William Steig. 5. What a wonderful world, thought Dominic. How perfect. Had it been up to him when things were first made, he wouldn't have made them a whit different. Every leaf was in its proper place. Pebbles, stones, flowers, all were just as they ought to be. Water ran where water should. The sky was properly blue. All sounds were in tune. Everything had its appropriate smell. Dominic was master of himself, and in accord with the world, he was perfectly happy. Rounding a bend, he saw smoke properly curling from a proper chimney, and under the chimney he saw a strange little house, perfectly, properly strange. He decided to visit and share a spot of tea, perhaps, with whoever it was who lived inside. He never debated these impulses, hemming and hawing over what he should do. Thought and action were not separate with Dominic. The moment he thought to do something, he was already doing it. So he knocked at the door and listened for an answer. A weak voice asked, "Who's there?" "It's me, Dominic," said Dominic. "Who's Dominic?" asked the weak voice with a quaver. "I'm a traveler on this road, and I'd like to say hello and pass the time of day with whoever you are there inside this charming house." "You're probably one of the Doomsday Gang," said the one inside. "And you're using an affected voice, trying to sound like a dog, and your friends are right behind you. I can almost see them." No, I'm Dominic. I'll bark to prove it." And he barked. "Show your face at the window," said the voice inside. Dominic dashed to the window and, standing up on his toes, placed his front paws lightly on the sill and peered in. He saw a very old, very wrinkled pig, very unpink and unwell-looking, lying in bed. He was sunk deep in pillows and covered with the craziest crazy quilt Dominic had ever seen. On the stove, not far from the bed, a kettle was steaming, and of course the pig, looking out through bleary eyes, saw Dominic. "Come in," he said. "There's a key under that flower pot by the left side of the door." Dominic entered. "Lock the door, please," said the pig, and Dominic did. Dominic always noticed smells first. The room smelled like a sick room. The air was stale, and the pig smelled like a sick pig. Dominic went over to the bed and sat near him. "I'm sorry you're not feeling well," he said. "I'm not just not feeling well," said the pig. "I'm feeling miserable. I barely had enough strength to light the fire and put that kettle on the boil. Tea always cheers me up. I wanted some." "So did I," said Dominic. "I'll make it. Just you lie there and be comfortable." He smelled out where the tea was. He also smelled out the sugar in the milk. And while he was at it, he smelled out some corn muffins and marmalade and some partridge eggs, which he scrambled with a bit of fresh parsley. Dominic's briskness was heartening to the sick old pig. His spirits livened. How very lucky I am that you very lucky I am that you passed by on the road. Where are you going, if I may ask?" "No place in particular," said Dominic. "I'm just moving along on my way to wherever I go, to find whatever I find." "Well, I hope you don't find the Doomsday Gang," said the pig. "It may be that I have already," said Dominic, and he told about the fox, the weasel, and the ferret who had him trapped, so they thought, down in the hole. "That's them all right," muttered the pig. "That's part of the gang." "Well, I'm not afraid of them," said Dominic as he served the pig his tea and food and quickly fell to eating his own. It would be hard to say who ate with better manners, the pig or Dominic. Each had his own style, his own way of dealing with an egg, his own way of handling a teapot and taking his tea. The pig expressed the opinion that Dominic prepared food as well as the subtlest chef. Dominic blushed under his fur. "Tell me about yourself," he said as he cleared away the dishes. The food had commanded all his attention, but now he was curious about his host. "All right," said the pig. "Sit by my side. I tire easily, and I can't talk while you're busying about." Dominic made himself comfortable at the pig's side. "My name," said the pig, "is Badger Bartholomew Badger." Now, don't ask how a family of pigs got the name Badger. I don't know. And my father and my grandfather didn't know. The name goes way back. I'm 100 years old. If I were to tell you the whole story of my life, hardly being able to lift my jowls to talk, it might take another 100 years telling it. I'll tell you just a few things." But talking that much had made the pig so tired he fell asleep. Dominic washed him with rubbing alcohol while he slept. He opened all the windows and let in fresh air and let out the stale. Then he went outside and picked a cheerful bouquet of wildflowers, wild enough to have no names, and arranged them in a lovely vase on Mr. Badger's bed table. When he woke up, he began talking again, as though he wasn't aware he had ever stopped. I am all alone in the world, and I feel I haven't got much longer to live. I've had a very interesting life. I wish I could tell you about all the wonderful things that have happened to me, all the strange things I've seen, all the exciting adventures I have. I hope you have. Mr. Badger dozed off again. A bluebottle fly buzzed around his snoring snout. Dominic brushed it away. After an hour's nap, the pig woke up and continued. As good a life. It used to be very peaceful around here. It was just a happy place as you could wish for. But now everyone lives behind bolted doors and is always on guard against unexpected developments. Did I say unexpected? They are expected. It's that rotten doomsday gang. Heaven knows where they came from, how they got started, but they ply up and down this road, doing nothing but harm, keeping everyone anxious and worried. When I was younger, I had no problem with them. They were afraid of me. I was a pretty powerful pig, if I say so myself. But now that I'm old and feeble, they're always trying to get in here and take whatever they fancy. I wish I had my young strength for just a day to deal with them, as they should be dealt with. You'd see some fur fly. Mr. Badger got so emotionally wrought up when he said this that he shook all over. This made the bed rattle and the whole house seemed to tremble with his rage. Dominic had to calm him down. He told him he'd keep a lookout and make sure no one got in the house. He locked all the doors and windows, and remembering the story of the 3 little pigs, he rekindled the fire in the fireplace so no one could come down the chimney. Mr. Badger fell asleep again. The house got overly warm. Dominic fell asleep too. Both he and the pig dreamed about the heat, about a broiling sun, live embers, streaming vapors, molten lava. And that's the end of chapter 5.